I think a lot of times there are people that come to church, maybe they come to youth group, they show up in Sunday school, but they have wrong ideas about why they're there. They have false ideas about what they're doing. They're just there to have fun, just to hang out with other people. They're there because their parents told them to be there. They're coming, they want to see a show. They're like, man, entertain me. I'm here at church to be entertained. They're just there to hang out with their friends. They're like, man, so-and-so goes there, I just go to hang out with them. And those are okay things in of themselves, but they're not reasons to go to church. So sometimes we go to church and we think, oh, well, I've been to church. I have my ticket right here. Here it is. My ticket that says I belong to the church. I'm a member there, I've come here for like a show and I said a prayer. I bought my ticket so that one day when I die, I will go to heaven because I have this thing that says, keep this coupon. This is a ticket to heaven. Because Jesus said, you're admitted. You're admitted into heaven. So I have a ticket. I am good to go. But this isn't what the gospel is. This is not what the gospel is. Other times I think we have this idea that, I said a prayer. I said a prayer. And that is like backup. That's insurance. Jesus saves me. He saves me in case I get in trouble. And if I was to go to hell, I'd be in trouble. So it's like having Jesus in your back pocket. It's like fire insurance. Like it's an insurance policy that I have. But is that really what the gospel is too? So I think what the problem is that we as evangelical Christians have been propagating the idea that the gospel is easy and that it is easy to be saved through Jesus, which is true. We read in the Bible that Jesus says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. But yet, the next minute, we hear Jesus say something like, if anyone's going to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Which would be equivalent to being beaten to death or being in prison for life. Following Jesus is both hard and easy. It's easy to accept him. It's easy to be forgiven, but following Jesus is hard. I mean, one minute Jesus is saying, hey, come follow me, come be my disciples. And the next minute he's got people asking to be his disciples and he's turning them away saying, hey, following me is not easy. Are you guys sure you really can do this? And I think too often for you guys, we've set the bar too low. We've said following Jesus is so easy, just do it. But it's not easy. It's hard. It's complicated. It requires sacrifice. It requires surrender. That's the key thing. Surrender. Because I think so often, especially with our individualistic mindsets here in America, we think that Jesus is something that we can add to our lives. The gospel is something that we can kind of tack on. Kind of like having that fire insurance in my back pocket. That Jesus is all about eternal life, religion and church. That's all about after I die. Then that helps me. But living the way of a Christian, being like Jesus is something that happens now. That happens here in our lives now. Jesus becomes a part of our lives and he's supposed to rule over us. But see, we as Americans in particular, I don't think we want to be ruled over. We are all about independence and freedom and me being able to do what I want to do. But is that a Christian mindset that we can have? Is that really something that we as Christians should say, yeah, I'm all about having freedom in my own way? Because the way of Jesus is submit to death, surrender, do what God asks you to do. I love church history and I love reading what other great men and women have said about living the Christian life, about being like Jesus. And some of the things that they say is that they continually wanted to just asking the Lord what they should be doing. What they should be doing with their lives, what they should be doing every single minute of every single day. That they weren't concerned so much about what they felt or if they were comfortable or what their rights were. They laid down their rights. They laid down their own desires in favor of doing what God asks me to do. They just wanted God to tell them what to do. It was almost as if just being in communion with God, when God would just be intimate with them, He would give them direction. He would give them guidance. He would give them peace and comfort. And it was a special place that I think so often, particularly in the American church, we know nothing about, because we keep Jesus at a distance. We leave Him standing knocking at the door of our hearts, where He says, let me in. Let me in. Surrender. Give up yourself. That's the best life to have. When we say, Jesus, rule me. Rule my heart. Rule my every decision. Help me. Not just help me, not just save me, but be the Lord of my life. See, Jesus says, if anyone wants to follow me, he must lose his life. See, He says, if you want to find your life, you have to lose it. For anyone who loses himself for my sake will find it. What's He saying? What's He saying? He's saying that in order to follow Jesus, in order to be a Christian, you must be willing to die to yourself. You must say, my desires, my dreams, my plans, my ideas of what it means to be alive, I have to put those aside. I have to let those die. I have to kill those and say, enough of that. I will not do what I want to do, but instead, I will seek what Jesus asked me to do. I will follow His plans, His desires for my life, His wishes, His demands upon me. And in that, I will find life. See, if we focus on doing things our way, if we say, I will focus on what I think I should do, that way only leads to death and pain and problems, and you don't want that. But if you follow the way of Jesus and do what He has to do, whether it's hard or not at times, that will bring you life. If anyone wishes to come after me, Jesus said, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life must lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake, Jesus said, he'll find it.
Surrender.